Hello. Welcome to this live call together. We're going to be getting a fair bit of stuff done today. So come on in. Let me see who's in today. Awesome. Lots of girlies. Cool. Coming in, guys. A lot of the regulars are here. Hi, Sandy and Min, Deanne. Mikkel's here. Tracy. Got Jan, Janine, Karen, Tanya. Tonya, awesome. Meredith, Susan, come on in, guys, come on in. Joe, wonderful. Okay, I'll just give everyone 1 or 2 more minutes to jump inside. A lot of you guys look to be current members, so you kind of know how this whole deal goes, but I will explain it for those that don't as well. Let me just have a look at what I'm expecting. Yeah. There's still another sort of few people that I'd be waiting on, but we're going to get started anyway. Haven't got my camera high enough, do I? No, whatever. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to get straight to work. The way this goes, hi, come on in. The way this goes is chat box on the right-hand side, enter a question in there, any question that you've got regarding your business, and I'll be able to help you out with it. If you've already submitted a question in the portal in advance because you weren't sure if you could be here or not, can you let me know that in the chat box too? Don't wait till the end. Let me know in the chat box, hey, Grace, I've sent you a question in the portal, and I'll answer it. It's private, so I can see your question, but no one else can, so don't worry about asking silly questions. And one more thing. I go first to last, so I go in order, first to last, and so I just work through the questions one by one, and I'm here for the next 2 hours, so normally we can get through everyone's in that time, which is great. Okay, let's get to work, and let me help you. So, and you can either, some people like to come in for their question, get it answered, and then leave once it's answered. Other people like to kind of have this on the background and listen, and just whatever makes kind of applies to their business, they'll tune into those bits. So completely up to you. I don't mind how you use it. Hi, Tanya. It is good to meet up with you too on a regular basis. It's like we're friends. I know we haven't met, but it's kind of like we're friends, which is way more fun when we're on the road of being an entrepreneur. Okay, should we get started? I'll just quickly double check who else I'm waiting on. I think this is all of us. We're 5 minutes in. Everyone else is too late for us to wait any longer. Okay, so Tanya's first question. So she submitted a question through the portal. Awesome. And wants me just to check her numbers. Cool, let me have a look. So, who was that again? Tanya. I'll just sort alphabetically. There you are. Okay. Let me just open up what you've given me. Oh, I love this fast internet. It costs $2,000 a month, but I love this fast internet. Stupid. Okay, gotcha. So, why has it brought up something weird there? Don't. There we go. Okay, is this all I've got to work with? No, you've given me everything I need to have a look at the numbers. So I'm looking at her Facebook ad. There are a few things that I want to look at, right? So first things first, I want to look at cost per click. I want to make sure that when I'm running a Facebook ad, if I'm getting like $9, sorry, not cost per click, sorry, I've just confused you. Cost per lead, cost per email, cost per conversion, same thing. So the conversion that we're trying to track, P.S. if you haven't watched the Facebook training yet, this will all make sense after you do. Don't freak out. But Tonya has. And a lot of you in this group today have. So I'm looking for cost per email. That's usually my first kind of thing that I'll be assessing. And I wanted to make sure, if I'm looking at $8 or $9, I'm kind of like, no, I need it to be $5 or less. So, and I'll usually, when it's first launched, I will just double check that if they say I've got 56 emails in Facebook, I've got 56 results in Facebook, I'll just quickly go and check my autoresponder and make sure I've got around that number of emails captured that have come into that nurture. It might be in MailChimp or Infusionsoft. I'll just double check that when I first launch something, particularly if I'm in a new market or something like that, just to make sure I've set all up the pixels correctly. Because if it says 56 and I've only got 20, I'd be like, something's wrong with the pixel. It's not tracking it properly. but expect it to be, it can be like 10, 15% off, because sometimes Facebook can't attribute it because of the attribution window. So don't freak out too much about that if it's 10 to 15% off. But if it's like half or double what it's supposed to, like the numbers are out, then you've got a problem with the way that you've set up your tracking. So you just need to set up the custom conversion. So as long as that's good, then we're getting around $1.76 per email based on our Facebook. $1.76 per email. So that's something awesome. We can make a lot of money if we can get in touch with 1,000 people for $1,700 bucks. Crikey, we can make a lot of money out of that. 1,000 people, right? If we were to scale on that kind of level. Right now, we've just got the 56-ish. Cool. So yes, that is good. So I wouldn't be concerned about the Facebook ad in terms of standalone, the value that it's bringing you. It's obviously the Facebook ad has to be congruent to the message and the kinds of people that you're wanting to attract. But as long as that's clicking, then we should be good. So your next page is converting at 40%. Whoop, whoop. Cool. So 40% of people that go through to your landing page are converting. And I'm just going to have a quick look at it. Go to page. Cool. How good's that? So 40% are good. So we're happy with that. I remember my sister's having a baby, and I remember she was looking at you and going, oh, this looks really helpful. Cool. I mean, my only thing, this landing page is converting like crazy, but my only thing for you would be the having Oswald. I'm pretty sure that's Oswald font. Having Oswald for your bullet points is a little bit hard to read, but it's great for everything else. So I would just maybe make the bullet points more of a sans serif or more of a like a Droid Sans or one of your stock standard kind of fonts that's a little bit easier to read. A little bit looks more like kind of Arial or Helvetica or something like that. But it's obviously working, 40%, so not a big deal. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing this because it's a bit weird. I just saw myself. Where's the rest of the results? So that landing page is good. So our initial offer is great. Your thank you page hasn't had a conversion yet. And so this is usually, let me have a look at the thank you page. I'll just have a look and see whether I feel like it's more an issue of the offer, because it's either the layout of the page that's just causing people to bounce and not quite get it, or the offer itself isn't being explained well. I'm just going to listen to you a little bit.
They're on their way to your inbox and will be ready shortly. Lisa, you've made a smart choice.
You're so good on video.
Your family's finances. Now you can be sure you'll be prepared for
cool.
financial challenges that lay ahead.
Just going to skip forward a little bit.
I wanted to ask you a question. Do you ever struggle with making the family's finances stretch to cover everything you need? And do you wish there was...
What's your offer? A free chat. First name, last name, email, phone. Yes, I'm ready. Cool. So this is exactly the offer that I would have done. Yeah, it's a great call to action. I can't watch to the end. She's got a really, really cool page and a really lovely video, and it's super relatable. So the main things that I would say with this, because it's a free chat, I can't listen right to the end, but is it super benefits focused around what they're going to get out of it? My only thing here, how long's the total length of the video? Like we're probably looking at around 2.5 minutes. Because I've done this a few times, right, on a thank you page, on that kind of next step, and I really like this video, and I know how long a video takes, right, but to do your hair and get in front of the wall and set everything up and go, it's really good quality. You look fantastic. It's professional. It's relatable. I like you by looking at this. But the message isn't cutting through, okay? So we need to, I've done this before on a thank you page. I ended up having to do 3 different versions of the video. I felt like I was saying the same stuff, but I was just coming at it from different angles. The first 2 didn't convert at all. I was like 1% and 3%. And then the next one was converting at 30 because I just said it in a different way. And so the script usually helps you get the right flow and then earlier on in the video so that they watch. Probably what I would do is have a look. This is in Vimeo, right? I would have a look at stats in Vimeo. When are people dropping out in this video? because that would tell me a lot. Because a lot of the time on the thank you pages, if the videos don't get to the point quick enough in the first sort of 5 seconds, people will bounce. And so you'll be able to tell that in your Vimeo settings. If you go into Vimeo, there's like reports, and you can see where people are dropping out. Because a lot of people think if you don't get to the point, they're like, oh, cool, this is just a confirmation page, close. Whereas you're like, no, wait, don't go. I got something really exciting I wanted to share with you that's only available for the next little while. And I know it's going to be such a good fit for you and where you're at. But before I get to that exclusive opportunity, I just wanted to blah, blah, touch on a couple of things about how it's on its way to their inbox, and you're just quick and punchy and fast. And then straight on to the consult and all about because it might be too long, all about the benefits, right? What they're going to be able to walk away with after this call. And make sure that you're really clear in saying the word complimentary, no obligation, or the words complimentary, no obligation. I just try one more version of this video. Go back and have a look at your last one, see where they were dropping out in the reports, because it would tell you how many people, how many times it loaded, and then, you know, how many, what the average dropout rate was and where it kind of started to drop off entirely. What have we got in terms of numbers that have seen that page? 1 second. I really love your video, though. I don't want you to be disheartened that the video is not right. You're a fantastic presenter. You're just not quite giving them what they really, really want because they're not interested enough to click, and it's an awesome offer. So we've just got to explain it in a different way. Can you see this as a competition with yourself rather than a failure or anything like that? See it as a competition and see it as like a challenge to be like, okay, what is it that you really, really want? I thought this is how you want it. Like, that's how I see it when I'm doing a video. I'm like, okay, I'm going to say this in a different way. I'm going to keep going until I just hit it on the head. Because once you get it to work, you can see, you can send cheap traffic. You got high opt-ins. We just got to get this next page to be converting. Also, I don't want you to discount the however many emails you've already got, right? Whatever that looks like to Facebook. Don't discount the value of emails, only because being able to send out promotions to people. I think I'm actually answering this for Min today. Being able to send out promotions to people. Vixie, if you're watching this video right now, or my team member who's transcribing this, can you make sure that you do a really big bolded timestamp when I start talking about promotions, which I'll do in a second because a few people have asked me about that this week. But being able to do those promotional times, I had someone the other day who just got really focused and sent out 3 emails really close together and ended up selling. She had a $2,000 product and she ended up selling 12 of them, right? So don't think that just because they're not taking action right on this page, they may just need, I do want to get some action happening on this page, but don't discount all the others because it is a personal chat. It is a time commitment. They might just need to learn to love you and trust you a little bit more. I got people who sit in my database and they tell me this when they finally join my community. They're like, I've been watching you for 12 months. We don't want your whole community to do that, but I've been watching you for 12 months before I committed and I just can't help but take that next step. So they're not dead. We're here for the long game. Don't ignore those other emails, but let's try and tweak the video enough so we can get some sort of traction on that thank you page. Just be benefits focused when you talk about the consult, benefits focused. Don't touch the Facebook ad. Don't touch the initial lead magnet page. Don't touch any of that. Just purely tweaking that thank you page. Yeah. Just trying to think of anything else that would enhance it, but you're kind of doing everything else right. So it's just that final bit. Joe, well done though. I'm very proud of you, Tonya. And I just got to encourage you. You just got to get that final video, that final thank you page to work and the floodgates open, right? So it's worth focusing on and don't ignore those emails. Someone sent me an email the other day, not Michelle who made the 24 grand, but can't remember what her name was, someone else who said, she said, this whole emailing thing really works, Grace. She was like, I just sent out an email broadcast and I just converted. She was doing a $500 package. I think she got 6 or 7 of them. And even Roma the other day, she did an email campaign and made an extra $2 grand just from sending an email or 2. Like, it's free. Just do it. Another person the other day said, I was really intentional on my Likeable Lady emails. I took a day per email. Cat, I think it was, with a K, I think. And because I was looking at the feedback that people have been sending me lately, and she's like, I was really intentional on my emails, but I've made so much money from them. She said, I've never made money before when I've done email marketing, and now I am. So don't underestimate the value of email. The end. Next question was from Joe. So Joe says she submitted it in the portal. For Joe. Got it here, Joe. Cool. Awesome. Da-da-da-da. Beautiful. Cool. Just having a quick look at her lead magnet. I'm very proud of you, Tonya. Sound like your mother, don't I? But I am. You're good. Tick it off your list. It's awesome. You're good, Joe. Well done. Good lead magnet. No change requests. Nothing. Go for it. Tick that one off. Chuck it in your email autoresponder. So put it in the first Likeable Lady email. Here's that thing I promised. And then off you go, and all the rest, that email and all the rest of them talking about the consult again. Well done. Very, very impressed. Okay. And you just got to remember those numbers, ladies. 3% of people will buy from you right away. You're working with 3%, so that's an average. 3% will buy from you on that thank you page or commit quite quickly. 6 or 7% extra will then go and take action in if you do really good Likeable Lady emails and keep nurturing those guys. Okay, so we're not talking about, I had someone the other day saying I was hoping that at least half of the people would take action on that next page. The majority of people won't do what you tell them to do. Okay, we're just wanting little percentages, but because we're building a list so cheap, we don't need 1,000 people to join your coaching program at $2,000 each, right? Like we would in time, but that's 1,000 times $2,000. Is that 2 million? This is embarrassing. Yeah, that's $2 million. Like you don't need that up front. We just need you know what I mean? So we're talking about small numbers. We don't need everyone in our funnel to say yes that comes out and finds about us. We just need to work with those small percentages. I make like $5 million by just working with 3-4% of my database, and I want to keep growing that and impacting more people in the database, but you don't need massive numbers, which is refreshing. Okay. Hi Grace, I sent a question through in the portal. Sandy, is this Sandy? I'm guessing it is. Let me see. Don't see it, Sandy, but I'll just hit refresh. If you've forgotten to press submit, it happens way more than I thought it would. Where people get to the end and go, done, and just close the tab and don't hit submit. There you are. You're in there now. You must have just submitted it. It is Sandy. Cool. I've attached the question in a Word doc because it's kind of long. Sandy, it's going against the rules. Oh, I can't read all of this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Chris is great. I'll get with this. Sorry, Sandy's just asking a question around her Facebook campaign. Yes, those results are tragic that you're showing me there. They're not right. They're not right. The tracking's not connected. Surely, that wouldn't be right. I can't imagine that would be correct. So the way it's being displayed isn't set up. Let me run this one via Adam. And he'll just double check with Rob and see what's going on there. Yes, Chris and Taylor from Traffic and Funnels are flipping awesome, but I feel like they're a bit expensive. I mean, if you're making money, you're making money, right? Yeah. So they're doing more mentorship rather than done for you. Is that right? Work with finish off funnel silicones. Yeah. I mean, they're fantastic. I can recommend those guys. Just make sure you get a firm quote on it first, but they will. It's like a set program of pricing that they offer. No, I don't do private mentorship, one-on-one kind of sessions, unfortunately. This is kind of as intimate as it gets, and then in my doers inner circle weekends away. Sandy, I'm pretty sure you're coming to the inner circle weekend away. Seriously, start some work with Chris and Taylor. This would be my recommendation. Start some work with Chris and Taylor. Grab some time with Adam because that's what you get in the inner circle. You actually get all of our experts are there in the room. Grab some time with Adam and let him just run through this campaign. He was doing one recently for someone in the weight loss space, and everyone that they'd talked to and been mentored by had tried to get the ads approved, and they couldn't get them approved, and he wrote one ad and it got approved and made them a ton of money. Like that's just what he's, when he joined gracelever.com, I got him to take over Facebook and kind of showed him what I knew so far, and he was able to run with it, and yeah, he's a bit of a gun at it. So I'd ask him at the inner circle weekend away. Just because I'd want to go inside. I'm pretty sure I've seen your Facebook ad, and that's fine. It's to do with your conversion tracking stuff. And maybe the pixel and the way it's set up on the page. Maybe you got a double pixel happening. There's a couple of things we can check, and it will literally be a 5-minute job just to run through and double check what's going on there. But I'm going to forward this to Adam, and he'll just be able to give Rob a quick call and see what the feedback is from that end as well. Because this one's intriguing for sure. You definitely need to put a pause on this campaign. I would say on the campaign right now until we get this one sorted. I wouldn't spend any more money. No way. You're 100% right. You shouldn't be spending that to get those results. So put a pause on this campaign. I'll run this one via Adam. I always forget about my drawer underneath my desk. I mean, yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know. Where's my booklet? Here. So, Sandy. And I know I don't do this for everyone. We obviously can't do this for everyone, but you're flipping serious. You're putting your money where your mouth is, so I'm happy to help. In terms of the spend that you're kind of dedicating, I'm happy to help put some dedicated time on that. Definitely. Okay, next question is from Deanne. Let me help you out, Deanne. I'll just quickly make sure that one's saved. Where is it? Cool. 1 second. Cool. I've just forwarded that one to Adam now, so he'll get on that today. Hope that helps, Sandy. Is from Deanne. I did see yours, Deanne. Okay, here we go. Awesome. So, Deanne, thanks for looking at my question. You're welcome. I'm putting a business together on personal training. Yep, I remember. I think we've talked before, haven't we? I remember this ringing a bell. Awesome. Okay, so going to target your ideal avatar, women in their 40s and 50s. Cool. Definitely. So she's wondering, Deanne is in the, just something to do with the thing you said about workshops. Cool. So, Deanne, what is your end goal? You doing one-on-one face-to-face? Can you let me know that? You're doing one-on-one face-to-face or online face-to-face or online, sorry, face-to-face one-to-one online one-to-one or online one-to-many. Let me know which stage you're in the evolution of a coach or a consultant. Are you, and this is in terms of the way that you're coaching people, right? And you're teaching and mentoring people. And so if you're in the early days and you haven't made cash in your own business as yet, you'll be in the face-to-face one-to-one. If you've nailed that, you then get to go to online one-to-one. Once you nail that, you get to go to online one-to-many. In terms of your industry, she's in a medical field. So she's wanting in a medical field. This is the real question, Bixie, when you're transcribing this. And then I've got to go back to email promotions. In the medical field, and it's the same in certain financial kind of insurance fields, things like that, planners, advisors, there are certain things you can and can't say. So there's restrictions around testimonials, there's restrictions around urgency, things like that, and the way that you're able to present it. And I know this because back in the agency days, I had people in these spaces. I had, a plastic surgeon, people like that. Ways around it in the when I've worked with surgeons and doctors before, there's this website called Real Self or something like that. So there's online review sites. You're allowed to have people leave reviews. So you're allowed to encourage people to go over there and leave reviews, and you're allowed to have links where people can go and check out reviews about you. And so they just had heaps and heaps of reviews. They encouraged people, like clients that were stoked and loving it, to go and leave reviews. And so they got around that. It's not a testimonial, it's a review. In other cases, like, for example, in fertility kind of services and things like that, same kind of setting, but case studies is one of the biggest lead magnets there that just works incredibly well, where you tell stories. You're allowed to position a story or a case study or an experience with permission, obviously, from the person, or telling your own stories and experiences, and as that kind of case study. So showing how someone got from the problem to the brand new day, kind of through that journey, and the path that they took, so that people can understand what's possible for them and want to achieve that same brand new day as the person that you've just talked about. So case studies and reviews are usually ways to get around the legalities of it. You are still allowed to say, you are still, check with your lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. You're not allowed to say like hardcore urgency, but you can still mention things like your calendar is limited. When you're doing anything one-on-one, your calendar is limited. There are limited spots available due to being in, high demand. And so you can still do, there's still elements of urgency that don't have to be super spammy or salesy, but consider if you could say something that works more on schedule and realistic situations. Like, I only have so many hours in my day. There's only so many people that I can work with. So yeah, availability, kind of calendar scarcity is probably the best way for you to approach that, but just double check in terms of the requirements. But there's usually not a problem with that. You normally can't say there are 20 spots left, there are 5 spots left, there are 2 spots left, getting quick. But you can be a little bit more vague around the urgency while still feeling like it's a scarce resource because it's your time. So that's normally the way we get around those. In your case, I found education kind of pieces, because it's a high trust industry. Downloadables that are more training / lead magnets, so either education and practices or techniques or things that they might be able to try, or what was I going to say on the other side? Flip it over and do or do case study. So case study or training, education kind of stuff. People to have a look at in this space that are both restricted by those kinds of same guidelines. And it is different when you go one to many, I believe. I think it's just more on that one-on-one. But looking at someone like Grace Smith, she's a hypnotist. So Grace Smith, and then another one being Dr. Carolyn Leaf. Grace Smith and Dr. Carolyn Leaf. They're on kind of a much larger scale, but Dr. Carolyn Leaf is a neuroscientist. They're kind of 2 great examples of people that have created a brand, an angle, a program around something in the medical field that is typically dry and restricted. I would also like to acknowledge, I love your attitude of, I'm going to figure out a way to get around these restrictions, rather than poor me, I can't advertise, I can never be successful in my business. Oh, well, you know, because a lot of people in the medical space kind of let that be their excuse to not be successful, or not work on scale, or not get smarter about the way they do their business, or not generate leads online, and they just rely on word of mouth and old school advertising. So yeah, if you just go super education / case study based, you're going to have success. And I would talk more about, I'll go more into video. And remember, video doesn't have to be this, face to camera. In those kinds of videos, I will be doing slide packs. So recording the screen while you go through a slide pack that you've prepared, and you teach with words and images rather than full face-to-face. Yeah, it'll be more interesting. Oh, I've got the hiccups. More interesting and engaging and meatier if you went that way. Go away, hiccups. I hope that helps. Good on you for not being bound by that. But checking out those other two girls, they've definitely got very much, not girls, women, they've got angles and types of markets that they're targeting. And I would see you, I mean, you're a licensed psychologist, but you don't have to be providing psychology services. You know, you can go down more of that. I'm not saying life coach, but you can go down more of the wellness route and mindset and brain detoxing and habit breakthroughs and stuff like that, like the other girls are doing, and not be as bound by that traditional clinical sense of psychology. It just makes you more relatable as well. You're able to build a bigger and stronger community on it, and you're not forever reliant on one-on-one for the rest of your life. So starting to get those first few clients, either online or face-to-face, where you're doing more of a mentoring. No, I wouldn't even use the word counselling, right? More of a mentoring, coaching kind of program than counselling or psychology. Next question is from Dominique. Is that right? Yeah, cool. So, no, I'm going to quickly answer the question I got the other day around promotions. So, Bixie, if you're listening to this, I know you're listening to this video, can you please call this, just so it's easy to find in the answers database, can you please call this, how do I set up email promotions, email marketing promotions, or something like that? Because for a lot of us, for all of us, like I did one the other day and it made $250,000 and it went over 2 weeks and it was purely sending emails. Guess how much it cost me to send emails? Nothing extra, because I just use the same email database that I've got for every other email that I ever send in my business. I made $250,000 of projected revenue for the next 6 months. That's like, wasn't that week I made $240,000. But over the next 6 months, that's what that attributes to, with the amount of people that took advantage of the opportunity that we had for them. So let me walk you through the way that this works when you come to email promotions. A few of you would have seen this. Very few of you would have acted on this, and I want you to act on this. If this applies to your business, I want you to act on this sooner rather than later. This is really important. I'm going to say for any business. It's critical for e-commerce or physical product businesses. It's really important for coaching and consulting. It's critical for service-based businesses, professional services or local services. It kind of covers all of us, right? We need to be having a look at your calendar of times on the calendar when you've got an excuse to reach out to people. If you just consistently say the same bland message that's got the same kind of non-circumstantial sort of communication with your database, with your emails, once they've gone through the first likable 80 emails, right? Once they've gone through the first 5 emails, if you then just continue to plod and chat about whatever comes to mind, you're missing the opportunity. You do become a bit bland. You do become just another talking voice that just doesn't shut up. And you do miss the opportunity to have these spikes when there's a real need to reach out to people and a real urgency around that reach out. So when you're doing email promotions, what I want you to do is find 6 to 9 dates of the calendar or periods in the calendar where there's a valid excuse for you to reach out to people. And it depends on the industry. If you're a day spa, for example, you're going to want to use Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas, all those like gift buying times. Your day spa's birthday. What else have we got? I would do some sort of winter warmer campaign heading into winter if you're doing massages and things like that. I do get ready for summer, waxing and those kinds of treatments if I was moving as we, hit the 1st of December. So I'd be looking coming into coming into November. Well, this is in Australian seasons. If you're, a financial planner, I'd be looking into all the tax times makes complete sense, end of financial year kind of stuff. I'd be looking at New Year's resolutions if I was in financial planning or in fitness or in wellness or in any of those kinds of spaces. So you've also got, all those, back to school if you're in a certain market that applies to. That would be great for a mum market, so great for a day spa. Back to school when the kids go back and now you've got a day off and you've, been crazy manic over the school holidays and now it's time to take that day in the day spa, right? So playing around with what excuses you can have to reach out to people. Pick that date on the calendar, right? For each of these, pick a date on the calendar. Can you see this? Kind of. So pick your date on the calendar. What I want you to do with that date is work backwards from that date. The first thing that I want you to do, P.S., this date, if you do have physical product, it should be based on the date of postal cutoff. So if people are buying, jewelry or whatever it is, or they're buying homewares or something like that, it should be whenever's realistic for the areas that you typically service. That cutoff date should apply based on postal cutoff date. So it might be if Mother's Day is on the Saturday, it might be the Tuesday before or something like that, right? Whatever that cutoff date is, be realistic if it's a physical product on cutoff day for shipping. Anyone else, really, the cutoff date is the end. So that's how it kind of works leading up to it. So you got your cutoff day here. Going back to the cutoff day. Can you read that? Yep, cutoff day. Going back from the cutoff day, we go 10 to 14 days. And we're going to be sending emails across this time, right? So I like to send is that 7? 8. It's good because I was going to say between 7 and 9. So 7 to 9 emails over that time. I want these last two to go out on, I'm going to go T-1, T being the cutoff date. So -1 is the day before, -3 is 3 days before minus, you know what I mean? So this is kind of project management terminology. T-1, those last 2 emails. So you need at least 2 emails on the last day. Sometimes I do 3. And those emails are just all about urgency and a little bit of like, thanks so much for being a part of this exciting, this exciting opportunity. We've had, we've been able to love up mums all over the country in the lead up to Mother's Day. I just wanted to give you one last opportunity to place your order. If you haven't already, blah, blah, off you go. And then these emails, maybe this is 2T minus, probably 2, T minus 4, T minus 7, T minus 9. No, we can go less than that actually because 14 days. Yeah, no, T minus 9, T minus 11, T minus 13. Something like that for these emails leading up to it is what I do. Now, there's a thing called motion mail. There would be other ones like this. If you went into Google and typed in free email countdown or free email timer or something like that. So motion mail is something that lets you create a countdown timer. I put the countdown timer definitely in these 2 emails and then usually in every second email. And it gives you, you can create a pretty countdown timer. You can choose the colors and what it looks like. And you say, it says, what's the cutoff date? And you're like 5 o'clock on Tuesday or whatever your cutoff date is. It will create a countdown timer for that. And so if they open their email, whenever they open their email, that'll automatically kick in to be the right countdown time and it'll be counting down in their inbox. So you can just then copy that into MailChimp or Infusionsoft or whatever it is you use for your email promotions. So I did one like this, huge countdown timer, super urgent. So what do you put in these emails? So super benefits focused. And just, you know, in this email, talk about one type of benefit. In another type of email, say, you know, we get so excited when our mums are able to blah, like just keep talking about hidden benefits that they might not have really thought about. Obvious benefits and hidden benefits. Urgency is a big one. So limited blah, in terms of, obviously it's a time urgency, like a date stamp on this. So in just a few days, in less than a week, like you just keep on using urgency in these emails. And then a little bit of social proof normally works. And for me, if you're coach, consultant, even professional services, earlier on in these first 2 to 3 emails, I usually have a training that I will send them to. It's just like a video. I'll have made a half an hour video, or even just like a 15-minute video is fine. And when they go through, I put that video by itself on a landing page in ClickFunnels. So it's just the video, a headline, and a big button below, right, that clicks them on over to wherever you want to click them on over to. So the first 3, I also give some great value as well as the urgency and the benefits. But I'm like, hey, click here to check this out. They watch the video below it. Button, right? So there's always a button to take them over. Now, remember, these emails need to have a really clear 24/7 conversion point. So not relying on you to be in the office to act on any of these emails. It's got to be a 24/7 conversion point. So it needs to be taking them through to a consult booking form, or through to an online store, or through to an order form, right? Oh, and that's the other thing I forgot to say in here too, stories. Can you see this? Yeah. Relatable stories, pain point stories. I just wrote one the other day. I'm starting another campaign on the 11th. Is that today? Tomorrow. No, it's today. It's going out today. And I was writing a story about like when I used to go swimming in the middle of the winter and like go out where my feet couldn't touch the ground and lay out under the water with my ears submerged at 5 a.m. in the morning. And I hate cold water, but that's how far I got, because I was like, I just felt like everyone wanted something from me, and I just had no escape from being an entrepreneur. This was back probably 6 years ago now, 5, 6 years ago. And then so this was the only time when no one could talk to me and I couldn't hear anything but just the water just slapping at my ears. That is psycho. You're a freak when you get to that point. And that's when I realized, that was my like epiphany moment. I realized this has got to change. This isn't what I was created to do. So sharing stories that relate to your pain points that your market's experiencing, that your product and service is solving. Cool. So emails. So you just, the way that this works, this is all automated. So at the beginning of the year, or even just at the beginning of the quarter, whatever it is for you, think about what's coming up. These 6 to 9 promotions. Think about what's coming up. Set up a nice little nurture in MailChimp or Infusionsoft, and you can just copy the last one and tweak it, because you'll just tweak the countdown timer and you'll tweak the copy, but it'll have very similar flows, just different stories and different offers, right? And you can do that in advance. So they're all set up and ready to go. And in Infusionsoft, you can have it so they automatically drop in. But in anything else, like I would just go and grab your list of current opted-in subscribers on the date that I knew this started. I just have a reminder in my phone. Today's the first day of emails. And I just go and drop all of the people into this list. And off they go. It's just like a couple of clicks. Drop them all in, add all your subscribers to this particular list or nurture, and off they go. So, yeah, they work crazy well. All I do now is date-based urgency campaigns. And I'll pepper in some like non-urgency emails in between them every now and then. But, yeah, we're not supposed to be doing crazy like ongoing promotions that don't have any purpose or point to them. And I feel if you've got more than 9 promotions on a calendar year, I don't know, it's probably like every time they turn around, you've got another sale. You know what I mean? Do you have to have a sale? No. I'm reaching out at the moment, and I just added an extra bonus, right? Which is something that's got a high perceived value but low cost to me. no time or money cost to fulfill that because it's an automated digital thing. So have a think about why they would want to buy now. Usually, like for the next 2 weeks, like you get a free glass of bubbles with your appointment, or you get 10% off your online purchase, or you get a bonus mini training or a bonus template or something done for you if you're in like a service-based or a coach or a consultant, right? Usually there has to be something special. Or sometimes in product-based businesses, when I was in the agency, they'd have like a special Mother's Day pack, which is just for Mother's Day. So it makes sense to promote that. And people could go and end up choosing whatever they wanted to choose, but we kind of have a real reason to reach out to people that's sort of specific to that time. Makes sense? So that's how I do the email promotions. Figure out what your dates could be, why you could reach out to people. It could be the birthday, like mine could be the birthday of when I first became an entrepreneur, and I could go back and it could kind of be the journey that I took, and that would be a really cool campaign. I've got one coming up now because I got a new program. A new program's a good reason to reach out to people as well. Whenever you've got a new program, you should always let people know about that. Just a thought. Cool, makes sense. Next question is, P.S. Sandy, Adam just wrote something back. Ha, there you go. Okay, so, it looks like the landing page was super low converting. Wow, so it was just a really bad landing page. Can you send through to, Adam's just PM'd you privately, I think in Facebook, I'm guessing. Can you send through the landing page and thank you page links to Adam? But he's just PM'd you, and he's also going to get into your account and have a look at what's going on to see what the issue is. He says it won't take me long to figure this out for him. You can't have him, he's on mine. He's married. Okay, next question is from Meredith. Meredith, your question is, so Deanne, we've done Meredith. Melinda, Meredith, gotcha. Cool, I already have Squarespace, awesome, and I can't afford to transition right now to WordPress and Bluehost, even though I know it's super low fee. Are there any kinds of features that you know of that you would suggest I incorporate until I can make the move, whether it be call to actions, pop-ups, sidebars, etc.? So I believe Squarespace isn't as bad as Wix in the sense that you can still hook up all of your call to actions to your autoresponder. So Squarespace and whatever your autoresponder is, MailChimp or whatever you use. Squarespace, MailChimp. Yep, Squarespace offers an integration with MailChimp. Awesome. Something else that I quite like is Opt-in Monster. I quite like Opt-in Monster. That's probably the cheapest pop-up option, pop-up call to action, all that kind of stuff for the most features. So, yeah, I would definitely have a look at Opt-in Monster. Cool pop-ups. And you can do, I think you can do click pops too. Yes, you can. So pop-ups are just where when they're on the page or on a certain page or any page of the website, you can do either let the page pop-up appears after a certain amount of time, or you can have what I call click pops, well, ClickFunnels call them click pops, where you click on a link or you click on a button or you click on an image on the page and the pop-up appears then. So it's like action-based pop-ups or it's just time spent on site pop-ups. They have really good reporting too. They're mobile friendly, all the kind of normal stuff. And they have scroll bars, so they have sidebar forms, or they have scroll bars like hello bars up the top, all that kind of stuff. So go and have a look at Opt-in Monster. That's probably the best one for call to actions because I'm pretty sure it's Opt-in Monster Squarespace search. Yeah, they do. The best lead integration tool works on Squarespace too. And they've got a whole help support desk. If you type in, I just always type in the two systems that I'm wanting to have integrate, and the first listing is usually buy one of the two systems, and that's a good sign because they've decided that they're willing to talk to each other and share information. So I just type in Squarespace and Opt-in Monster, and the first thing was an Opt-in Monster help article, right, where they said, yes, we integrate with Squarespace. So happy days. Jan, how do you show your computer screen in a module? Good question. So let me just show you on this, because I'll just share my screen. Share my screen. Like, I don't know, where's the Tony Robbins slide pack? Speaking of Tony Robbins tomorrow, I'm really nervous. I don't know why. I've spoken a gazillion times. I always get nervous. I think it's because I haven't done a presentation in a while. Okay, so what am I doing? Yes, so here's how you do it. I use a thing called ScreenFlow. I'm pretty sure it's on this computer. It would be ScreenFlow. So ScreenFlow is this tool that allows you, see, I can record myself. I wouldn't normally do that with ScreenFlow. I'd often record the desktop. So I can record the desktop on this computer and I can record the audio, and you can see there it's picking up my audio. You can hit computer audio if you've got something that you're recording, like that you're playing on the computer. Like, hey, check out this video, listen to this, play, and it will record the computer audio. So once you're ready, you just hit record. And it's giving me a little countdown. So I'm like, great, I'm now going to hit play. And I'm going to walk through my slide pack. Blah, blah. You know, that's a really ugly font. That's not my font. I need to change that. Oh, I'm on a different computer. I forgot. And so you can go through, and I'm talking about my bold promise to you right now. And then I'm going to talk about your Genius Zone and what that is. And I'm going to introduce myself a little bit, blah, blah. This is the way that I do my slide pack. So I'm just hitting the next arrow in what I'm doing right now. Cool. Blah. Once you're done, you go up here and you hit stop record. And now there's my presentation. So it's all good to go. I would normally hide this little thing down the bottom. I don't know why that's on there. It's annoying me. And I'm going to walk through my slide pack. And so that's my audio and my vision. Really easy to do. So I'd cut off. Where did I cancel it? Maybe that was the end. Ooh, what's just happened there? Anyway, back to this. I'd cut off that bit at the end. And I'd cut off this little bit at the beginning. Drag it back to the beginning so it starts right at the front. Cool. Off we go. And I might want to just crop a bit off the bottom. Maybe a bit of, you know, just kind of sit around there. Happy days, play. And that's the recording. And so I can just hit save, and then I can just export it, and it turns it into a movie file. Now, I believe QuickTime does the same thing, which comes free with a Mac. There's a iMovie does the same thing. I'm not on a PC right now, but iMovie does screen share as well. QuickTime, file, it's up here, new screen recording. See that? And I just think you hit record from memory. Is it recording? Oh, wait. Yeah, I think it's recording. What? Hold on. QuickTime, where's QuickTime? No, that's Logitech. QuickTime player. File, new screen recording. Okay. What do I do? Wait, maybe I go new movie recording because I want to do screen and audio. Oh, no, I don't want that screen. No, I'll do screen recording. I think I just hit click to record the full screen, drag to record part of the screen. Cool, so click to record the full screen, end recording by clicking the stop button. Click to record the full screen. Cool, play. So I'll go through this presentation again. It's just a free version, right, in QuickTime. Stop. And there's the file. So now I can put that into iMovie or whatever thing I use to edit my videos. So iMovie, ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow kind of has it all built in. QuickTime lets you record. That's cool. Don't save. Haven't used that for a while. Making sense? I'll stop sharing my screen. It's working. Now you can see me, right? Yeah, nice and simple there, Jan. Okay, next question is from Gentry. I saw yours, Gentry. For Gentry and Grace. There you go. Gentry, cool. Yes, so for my membership program, I need to film in my kitchen, but I've been very reluctant to do so because it's a little drab and doesn't have that sort of studio look. How can I make sure my members take me seriously? So a few options. You can hire out a studio and do a setup in there. You can talk to a friend who's got a really cool looking kitchen and ask to borrow their kitchen for the recording. Or you can have a friend who's a little bit creative, a bit of a stylist, a bit of an interior lover, and get them to come around and pretty up the space a little bit. So, yeah, I don't just go and stand in a space and start recording. I take the time to set up, like if I'm doing a training or something like that, right? Take the time to set up a proper studio. So not like crazy amounts of time or money. You don't need to do that up front. You just need to create half decent content. But yeah, I tend to find less is more, 100% less is more. Keep it really simple and clean. Less is more, but just playing around with little bits and pieces that you can put in. Anyone who's got, you know, an interior bone in their body will be able to give you some thoughts on how to set up the frame. So I just set up the camera on the tripod, get my frames sorted of what I think I want to work with, and then we just leave the camera on and we just like jump in, put something in that corner. What does that look like? Oh, that's too busy. Take that out. We just kind of play around with the scene. I won't have usually a huge scene going on for promotional videos like landing page videos or thank you page videos or things like that. It'll normally be for training based stuff. I usually have scenes. Yeah. But less is more. So, yeah, I mean, the only reason you'd be in a kitchen, I would think, is because you're doing cooking demonstrations, I'm guessing, which means you probably do need to be in there because you need a stove and a sink and stuff like that. But do you have friends you could borrow, or do you have a friend who could help you style your kitchen a little bit better? It doesn't have to be permanent and it doesn't have to be expensive. Like we got a lot of little bits and pieces from Kmart, which is your equivalent of like Walmart. It was just cheap stuff. But it looked good because it's not like people are picking it up and checking out the quality of it or using it. It's just a little prop and it looks really cool in the background. So don't be too much of a perfectionist there, but you're right. You want to be coming across looking professional. And that first just glance at what the scene that you're in does give people an impression of you. Next question is from awesome. You're welcome, guys. Karen. Well, let me have a look. Cut for Karen. I haven't got two, do I know? Karen, Kim. Karen. I've attached a sample flow from one of my inner website pages to a sample lead magnet. This is one of my 5 lead magnets. Cool. Cool. Awesome. So let me have a quick look. And remember, the whole reason we're doing lead magnets is they're a lead magnet. Okay, so they're a lead magnet. We're giving them something because we're attracting a lead towards us. So a lead magnet, you don't ever have them anywhere displayed on your website. You have them, or you can, but it's got to have an email capture before it. So you can go to gracelever.com and look at the free resources page and see how I do lead magnets on a website. But obviously you're going to get like 4 to 10 times better conversions, which is 4 to 10 times more money if on Facebook you're sending to a landing page like I teach. So yeah, it's a lead magnet. We don't ever have them displayed where anyone can access them at any point. It's always grabbing an email address first. We shoot it through in the email typically. Send the link through in the email. Cool. Yeah, so this looks good. I mean, the layout and the look and feel is looking good. I guess the biggest thing is just making sure that what you're giving them, that the first page doesn't work for me at all. I don't know what that is. It's like oh, that's the landing page, is it? Is that the landing page? I guess. Anyway, like the website page, I mean. Anyway, yeah, the downloadable, if that's the pages after it, the downloadable is looking good. The biggest thing is, yeah, I mean, yours is quite a technical space. So there's obviously a certain niche that you're trying to target there, because your lead magnet should be starting to solve the problem that they've already got. And that's where people start to see you adding value and wanting to pay you to give more value to them. So as long as you feel like you can look at this and genuinely say, yes, this is solving a problem that my market has, then it's usually a good sign that you can be successful in advertising it on Facebook and turning those people into paying customers. But yeah, the content and the length of it's like really sizey and solid. So I'm happy with all of that. Well done. Good job, Karen. Let's move on to the next step, right? Let's start getting that Facebook out there and start attracting people. You're right, Sandy. Okay. Cool. And Deanne, just one more thing with yours, if you're still here. When we're talking about, so Deanne's in Deanne's the psychologist from earlier on, looking at getting into a space that's a little bit less private practice and more thought leader, influencer, expert in that kind of space, coach, leader kind of area. The big thing there, so you're wanting to do workshops next. Remember, there are two types of workshops. So there's workshops based on workshops that are lead generators. So where the workshop is the first step in the relationship, and at the workshop you sell the next step. So they're usually half-day workshops like what I did, and then that gives you the opportunity for people to know you, like you, and trust you, and decide if they want to take that next step to become a person in your community that, you know, pays for your services or your experience and coaching. So yeah, they're either going to be lead generation workshops, or you could have workshops that are the product. So lead generation workshops normally cost under $100 to attend. They're my $1 to $49 tickets. If the workshop is the product, they're normally, depends on the market, anywhere between $500 to $5,000 plus, right? But if the workshop is the product, you need to get them through another avenue in terms of your funnel. You can't go straight to the workshop. But if the workshop is your lead generation, or almost like the lead magnet, then you can do the live event funnel. If your workshop is the product and you're wanting to get people to go to a high ticket retreat or workshop, I would be looking at doing either a webinar to fill that, or a consult funnel to fill that, where people are able to book in a chat to register, find out more, blah, blah. Okay, Susan's question. You're welcome, guys. Susan and then Min. I have a business name and a coaching program name. Cool. So kind of like, yeah, a business name and a coaching program name. So my business name officially is gracelever.com, and the business and the coaching program name is the Doing Academy, or the Identity Project. With you? Is it best to focus on my business name or coaching program name? They run into each other. Are you a coach or a consultant? Because if that's the case, I would focus on your name, right? So if you look at any of the search traffic, which is defining what people remember you as, if you look at, like, I'm just thinking, for example, of those people that I gave you earlier, Grace Smith and Dr. Carolyn Leaf, if you look at because I was doing some competitor research on them for a training recently, if you look at their keyword research, people aren't typing in, some people are typing in 28-day brain detox or get free online program, but most people, or Grace Space, most people are typing in their names. So if you're a coach or a consultant or a personal brand or anything like that, usually you're going to want to focus more on your name. So I got way more search traffic for Grace Lever than I do any of my programs. I know that's because my personal name is my business name, but your name is usually going to be the first point of call, and then they get really familiar with where you're from. But people won't say, oh, have you heard of unless it's like not a personal brand and you're really sitting behind it, which I don't usually recommend for coaches and consultants. It's so much harder to get traction when they've got a trusted brand rather than a human. So when people are sitting at meetings, like they don't say, oh, have you heard of the Doing Academy, or have you heard of the Inner Circle, or whatever. They say, oh, have you heard of Grace Lever, right? That's kind of how the conversations happen. And that's always what people tell me. When they don't really, and they're like, oh, I had someone else who was joining your blah, blah, right? Even the Tony Robbins thing, the guy, their tour manager that called me was like, I just heard your name dropped. He didn't know what I did, any of my programs, nothing like that. But he's just like, I've heard your name about 15 times. So when we hear someone's name that much in our circles, we reach out and find out if we could work together. And that is based on the name, because people are more likely to remember and connect with and become familiar with the name, the human, rather than the brand. Hope that helps, Susan. Min's question. Just hit refresh. It's not in there right now, but you may have just added it in. Refresh. Gives me an extra question, so I reckon you have. LLMM. There you are. Min. Cool. Min started the Genius Project last week. Goodness coming in that as well. Okay, really great training. Thank you. Awesome. You're welcome. I'm revisiting my business model, making sure I've got a really unique angle. Totally. So digital art director and consultant. Worried that my competition's too saturated and that there are thousands of Fiverr and Upwork freelancers out there. I swear I've got a training in there somewhere that says you're not allowed to say my market's too saturated. If anyone's market is too saturated, like we've been able to have success in markets that are supposed to be way too busy, way too full. If it were about information that they're able to capture, people wouldn't need you. If you want information, go to Google. You can find information. People aren't about the information as such. They'll end up staying for the information and the community, but they're really there for a mentor, a leader, someone that they can follow, that they can trust, that they like. So it's actually about you in your case and what you can help people do. But first and foremost, it's about you and connecting with you and trusting you and liking you. And you're a million times different from anyone on Fiverr and Upwork. Can I say, people, your competition is not Fiverr and Upwork. I promise you of that. Your competition will never be Fiverr and Upwork. You're far more high end than that. People go to Fiverr and Upwork because they've got a cheap budget and they can't afford you. People that can afford you will be looking for people like you. My design skills. I haven't added my business. Oh, and then you've got your angle in the PDF. Let me have a look at the angle you've come up with. I was talking in the Genius Project how my angle is the stop dreaming, start doing, and how I'm just anti-fluff, anti-dreaming and wishing and wanting and mantras and all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, let's just learn some intelligent marketing strategies that we can actually apply in our business and start stepping forward in getting your name and your brand out there. Cool. So and normally the angle should come from the pain point, the problem. So your angle just having a quick look at this. If you're just if you're kind of focusing on female entrepreneurs, embrace that. Rather than helping entrepreneurs, helping female entrepreneurs, embrace that. If that's what you're wanting to target, the more niche you can be, the more successful you'll be able to be in that niche. So decide if you want to do that or not, but if you do, don't be afraid to embrace that in the way that you talk everywhere. Awesome. Yep. Yeah, and I think that's definitely scalable to be getting that one program doing $5,000 a month for the website side of things, like that as like the average, and then being able to add on other things. I think that's definitely reasonable just from if you're doing building websites from my side. I know that's a reasonable kind of number to manage at once. You can have 5 projects easily on the go. And with an assistant, you can have 10. So that's got potential to make, good money. Totally. Yeah, I like the angle you're going for. So, I mean, you're not allowed to say cut the fluff or any of the things that I use, but you're very much I like it that you're cutting through, like it's a results driven. And if you think about your polarity, you're against the pretty website syndrome. You can use that. You're against pretty website syndrome. You're against people building a website and no one ever converts on that website. And that's a problem. People spend so much money and time on pretty websites and end up with something that actually doesn't make money. It needs to look good and make money. So, and everyone, I'm just thinking about the market, right? Because you're thinking about your female entrepreneurs. Female entrepreneurs are so, I know in my market, a big pain point is my website hasn't made me a cent, right? So many people I talk to, they're like, I've never actually made money from my website. No one's ever called me from my website and said, hey, I was just on your website, right? They're not getting the kind of results on their website. Sometimes it's because of traffic, but a lot of the times it's because I look at the website, I'm like, that looks good, but that will not make you cash. And you can have both. So I think that's your whole, just think about the pain points around the opposite to what you focus on. So it's all about pretty website syndrome. It's all about looking good but not actually making money. It's all about sacrificing results for looks, whereas you're able to incorporate both. Yeah, I think that's cool. That's an angle. I just like flesh that out a little bit more around that sort of what you stand for and what you stand against, and normally help you determine that angle. And some people won't like you because they're like, I love pretty websites. They're normally designers or creative people. Like, I love pretty websites. Your websites aren't super pretty, but it's like, but yours don't make money and mine do. So I'm not here as a hobby. I'm here to make money. This is a serious business for me. So I'm going to go that angle. And as you can see from gracelever.com, it doesn't have to look ugly. It just has to actually make money. Okay. I hope that helps, Min. Cool. Jan, can you just let me know what platform you're building your portal in, please? And I'll be able to show you how to do that. Tanya, I'm at the very beginning. Cool. Do you recommend we go to direct to ClickFunnels monthly? Okay. And do you build from there? Also on a website separately, integrate with ClickFunnels later. So her question is around, she's wanting to get started on her landing pages, and she's thinking ClickFunnels, and she's saying, do we have done for you kind of ClickFunnels things where other people can build them for us? And my answer to that is yes. Who was I talking to like 2 days ago about this? So I know Heidi builds landing pages for you. Her specialist area is in membership sites, and that makes landing pages for her a bit of a breeze, but she is good at building landing pages, particularly good if you're wanting to do any sort of online programs. And then I was talking to, Roma. Is it? No, she's going down the other angle. Can you email us in the inbox and we'll be able to provide you, we don't do that in-house, but kind of like Infusionsoft, I recommend Christelle, and she's like just focuses on Infusionsoft and is awesome at Infusionsoft. I have other people that I recommend that just focus on ClickFunnels, or that just focus on video marketing, or that just focus on building memberships, or just focus on copywriting, right? So that if you do want to outsource any parts of it, you can. So just email us and ask for our recommendation for a ClickFunnels done for you provider. But a lot of my girls, it's kind of, I mean, you can do that. And if not acting is stopping you from making money. Like if you're not taking action with ClickFunnels or feeling overwhelmed by it and that's stopping you from making money, then yeah, you might need to invest some cash to get out of that hole. It's better to invest a bit and actually get something finished rather than just never going live with something. But the majority of my girls, through the ClickFunnels training that I give as you work through my programs, that's more than enough for them to kind of get a bit of a handle on it. It's like any learning curve. You have to jump inside and spend some time in there, and after a while you just become a bit of a gun at it, like driving a car or learning to cook or whatever it is. It's just a matter of practice. So yeah, it's always going to be intimidating first time round, but it's just something that I personally don't think you need to outsource because it's so simple to set up a couple of landing pages. It's even more simple because I give you mine, so you don't need to make it up. You just need to copy, tweak to make it look like your own and go live. And you can get someone else to build a website for you if you want, but you can actually use one of the long landing pages in ClickFunnels, grab one of the long templates and use that for your website page. So you can use a long landing page that actually kind of looks like a home page. You can use that as your website page because your website isn't going to be the main thing making you money up front. You're going to be building a funnel. So I just don't want you to waste thousands and thousands. And like in a startup stage, I would never build the website first. I'd build like a website looking landing page and put that on my website, but I wouldn't build a whole website first. I've got to go and make sure I can make money out of this. I'm not going to put heaps of cash in, like $5,000 into a good website until I'm making good cash back. And then I know it's working and it's worth it. And I know my angle, I know my brand, and I know what they want to hear. I go and build a website that's based on that. Next question is from, hey, Jan, if you're still here, can you just let me know what you're using to build your membership portal? Cool. Yeah, it's up to you, Karen. I would have a look at what the competitors are doing in your space. Karen's asking, she's in the art space and her services help people to search and buy art. And she's wondering whether she should use her personal name or her gallery name. Have a look at the big competitors in your space. I think the people that are thought leaders in your space are definitely known as a personal brand. They're definitely known for their name, not necessarily. And it just is easier as well. Like it's different between. That's not a good example. I'll leave that. But in these kinds of scenarios, I'm pretty sure you would find that the people that you are going to be directly competing against and weighed up against are pretty much all known for their name, not for a gallery. I may be wrong. Double check that. Do your competitor research. But I would think that'll be the case. If you think about the top buyers and the top art sources and art consultants around the country and in different parts of the world, have a look at how they're branding themselves, because it's usually a good sign. Jan, ClickFunnels. So in ClickFunnels, you want me to quickly show you? Share screen. Share. Can you see my screen? I think you can. Okay, log in. What did I call it? Test or something. What am I doing again? Membership. I'll just go into this one. Oakley Dokley. So if we go in, she's building a portal in ClickFunnels, right? So if she goes into membership area, she'll be able to see the lessons that she set up. So she'll have a number of sections. Consider them as kind of like in the Doing Academy, I call them modules. So she'll have sections and then she'll have lessons within each of those. Now, once you're in a lesson, I'm just going to add a new lesson, put it under the first module and call it automation, audit, I don't know, whatever. It's going to be a video lesson and it's going to come out straight away. Create. So if we open in Editor, with a little yellow button on the right-hand side. This editor, by the way, in memberships, it's still the old school editor on the right-hand side. You know, I don't know if you've been in ClickFunnels for a while, you'll have noticed that this is the old school editor. The new editor is kind of along the top, which is I'm now used to that. So you just have to deal. So I've got my video here. I'll put a nice little heading in saying automation audit. I might put here, discover the right automation tool for your business and industry. Please try and be a little bit more exciting than this. I'll click on the video and I'll use either a Vimeo link or I'll use a YouTube link or whatever I want to put in there. Now two options for your downloadables. So remember, we have to go and upload them as a media file. So we've got to host them somewhere and then we add them into here. So if we look here, I think I did this last week actually. Just quickly jump into the Genius Project backend and show you. Am I logged in or not? Log in. So you've got to go and host the document somewhere and you want it in a PDF. If you need to shrink the PDF, go to Google and type in small PDF. And this will come up and there's an option here to compress a PDF. So all you do is drag the PDF into here and it shrinks it to like, I don't know, a quarter of the size that it is without losing the quality of it. So if you've got a PDF that's, you know, over a couple of meg, pop it into here and just make it smaller first. Once you've done that, you just go to media in WordPress, or if you don't have WordPress, whatever your website's built on, it'll have something like this where you can upload media or upload files. It might be called file upload or something like that. And you just click on, you can just upload the downloadable. So up here at the top, you just hit add new and you can choose the downloadable you want to upload. Once you've done that, it'll bring it up here and it will generate a little link for it. So you grab your file, you upload it into the back end of WordPress or Squarespace or whatever you use. They'll let you upload media. And then you'll be able to grab the downloadable. So that's the link here for the downloadable. It creates one for you. You don't have to make one up. It creates one for you. And so now if I open that link, there's the downloadable there. Right, so that's the downloadable. Oh, I've got to get how to change one thing on that. That's the downloadable there. So now that I've got the downloadable, I'll just make sure that I've copied that link. Copy. So I can now use that link on this page and anyone who clicks on it will go through to that downloadable. So it could be like a text link like this one here. So if I wanted to do a text link, I'd just go headline, add, click here to download, right? And I might want to make this the link. So I just hover over that, hit the link button, paste in that link that I just did. And I always say, open them up in a new window. This here makes it the link open in a new window. Just because I don't want them to get out of this membership site, I want it to open up in a new tab separately. Or in my personal preference, I love a button. So I always go buttons now. Yeah, I'm really bad at picking my colors. Know your color a bit better. Download now, cool. So the link in when you've got a button goes in this section here. Just take out the little hash, it's in the URL. So paste in your URL there. And again, I always make sure that it opens in a new tab or window when you're done. Okay, so either text or a button link, that's how it can look. And you hit save and now that page will look like that. The end. So that's how you add a downloadable. You've got to host it somewhere, just like you have to host your videos in Vimeo or Wistia or YouTube or something like that. You have to host your downloadables in WordPress, or I just usually put them on the back end of my website. An alternative is you can get, what's it called? AWS or AS? Yeah, Amazon Web Services. This apparently lets you host stuff. I just don't know how it works. Database storage? No, content. No, I don't know. I think you just create a free account. It just means you can upload all your downloadables in here. Because if you've got a gazillion downloadables on your website, it does slow it down a bit. How much does it cost? Is there a cost? I'll just go back to the website. AWS. A few of my girls use it. I just know it's probably the most popular one out there and love it. I just haven't looked at it recently, and when I first tried to use it, I was really confused. Looks like there's a free tier. Free tier. So I think it's the storage and content delivery bit of it. Yeah. So you've got 5 gig that you can store for free. That's pretty big. Pretty good. That'll suit a lot of us. So you can get 12 months free, and then it's always free. Don't know what that means, but you can create a free account in AWS. That's an alternative to hosting them in the file section of your website or the media section of your website. What I just said, she's just verified that that is correct. Sick. You're welcome, guys. Okay, next question. Oh, I see what you're saying, Tanya. Yes. Sorry, total misunderstanding. Go to gracelever.com, gracelever.com/ClickFunnels. gracelever.com/ClickFunnels. Good question. That will just mean that our accounts are connected, and it should automatically drop in. If it doesn't, just email us and we can send you a link that will force it in. gracelever.com/ClickFunnels. Should work. It still has a 2-week free trial in there as well. Yeah, welcome, guys. Pleasure. Okay, next question is Carmela. Hi, Carmela. I think, is this Carmela Payne? I was looking at your testimonial thing the other day that you were giving. Far out. You're like a delight. Can we be friends? Okay. In another webinar, you mentioned you don't trust crazy domains to host your domain name. Do you have an Aussie company you would trust just to host your domain name, not your website? What do you mean? Why would you not want to host your website? Let me know. But yes, it's Panther, and it's $5 a month. So Panther, I don't think it's the cat Panther. It's like a Panther. Maybe that is how the cat's spelled. No, yeah, the cat's spelled ER. The hosting is called UR. So Panther, PANTHUR.com.au. If you go into, PS, those guys are amazing. If you go into module 3 of the Doing Academy, I'm going to say. It's the website one, 3. Go into the website one, have a look at the hosting, like DIY your own website. Just the one section of that where I talk about hosting is where I show you how to set up with these guys. They're awesome. They start from $5 and that'll be like plenty to get started with. A month, I feel like they're contract free. You can leave at any time. Their service is insane. So from sort of 8 till 6 every weekday, they're on it, both phone and live chat service. And they'll set up WordPress for you. They'll like make all your emails for you. They do so much stuff for you for free. I don't know how they make money. I'm still trying to figure that out. I guess it's just volume, right? But I've got about 300 plus websites with Panther at the moment. So they're awesome. Support's brilliant. They're good. Next question. Hope that helps, Carmela. Cool. So next question is from, how long have we got? 20 minutes left. 1 second, just let me remove that one because I've answered it. Okay, Naomi. Oh, Naomi, you've had another go at the video. Let me just have a quick look. I mean the Facebook ad. Oh no, the link's not available anymore. Double check. Yeah, it says the content's not available anymore. The page has been removed. Yeah, it's not there anymore, sorry. I can't see it. So just try sending me through a different link and we should have better luck next time. Next question is from, 1 second, I'll just quickly open it up. Isn't that exactly what you're after? Okay, so I'm in Pages or whatever that silly thing is. So from Kimberly Williams, I've decided to take massive, yeah, actually I think I saw this the other day. Cool, so I did see this the other day. I'm wanting to generate leads with an offer to get a free yoga class. Cool, let me have a look at the page. And I'm guessing this is a face-to-face yoga class, right? Because you're probably in the face-to-face one-to-one stage of the business. I'm just having a look at the landing page that you've created. First things first, make the logo much smaller. You've got too much blank text in the right-hand side. So logo should only be like, it should probably be half of what the current logo size is. The button color is not a great color for people to click on. It's really hard to see on the page, so make it pop a little bit more. Bit of a stronger button color there. Where is it? Oh, is it an online yoga class? Okay, so first things first, remember your lead magnet should not ask for all their details, just the email address. So right now, this is asking for first name, last name, email, phone. It should just be the email address.
Did you know that it costs McDonald's $1?
Just trying to figure out how this works. You got mind body, so you are a private. Okay, so the only thing in there, couldn't see anywhere where you were based. So you are talking about getting them to physically come to a location. Be super specific on that, on where you are, and yeah, location details, really important. So that was the only thing there. I couldn't figure out. I would put the word face-to-face a little bit more through that. And I would put in blah, like the town name, and make sure that the address is there on those landing pages a little bit more. And in terms of social proof, if we could have a photo on that first landing page of you with others, it just does both. It A, gets them to know you and like you, but it also gets them to trust you because there's other people there that are proving that you know what you're talking about. So yeah, at the moment it's just got you, which is also fine, but as soon as you do get a photo with you and other people, more social proof. A good photo, right? Otherwise that page is looking pretty good. Now, geographically, if you're a local-based business and you're usually in a geographical region, usually in a geographical region of areas that you can serve, your Facebook targeting becomes really easy. So when you're in a small geographical area, so you're a plumber or whatever that looks like, you always do your geographical targeting to just reach people in the local area. So because that audience will be so small just by reaching those people. So you might just type in Sydney or whatever it looks like, or if you only target Northern Beaches or something like that. So you just go into the geographical region or within 30 kilometers of Manly, whatever that looks like, target the geographical region. If it's yoga and you literally have never had a guy come to your class, then set female as a demographic. And occasionally set age. If it's not a class for millennials and you tend to only work with 30 plus, then set it at 30 plus. But to be honest, I tend to not even set age when I'm doing local targeting on Facebook. So if it's geographical, set the area and set gender if you must. Let the pixel do the rest. So because it's such a small target market, Facebook watches people and watches how long they are pausing on that ad for, so it can kind of tell if they're reading the ad, if they're clicking the ad, and within a couple of days, the pixel will basically know the kinds of people in that local area that you're wanting to target, and it will kind of do it itself. It will optimize itself. You can only do that when you're in a local geographical region. But if you start putting heaps of crazy demographics on it, there'll be like 2,000 people you're targeting, which won't work. So you just, you can be it's quite straightforward when you've got an offer on Facebook that's targeting a certain geographical region. if you're targeting, don't need to go on and on about that, but that's basically the long and the short of it. I hope that helps. Next question. Yes, Laura. So you're in the Identity Project. Awesome. You're doing your video scripts at the moment. You've seen people talking about camera setups, etc. Where can I find these? Good question. You know how you've got the Doing Academy as a like you've got that included for 12 months as part of your Identity Project purchase. You've got the Doing Academy portal in there in module. I'm going to say 5. Don't quote me on that. It says video marketing. I really need to know them off by heart by now. I shuffled them around a couple of months ago to make it easier to follow. The video marketing module walks you through that step by step. So you're right. In the Identity Project, we focus in on the core things that need to be done. But if you want a little bit more extra stuff in there, it's sometimes worth checking out the Doing Academy. But the most important part of your videos is the script by far. So make sure that you nail that and then jump over into module 7 and you'll get some really good tips on cameras, editing, that kind of stuff. And just be sure on whether you're a really great reader out loud and you sound really natural and authentic when you read out loud. I've trained myself to do that. So that means I can use a teleprompter. But if you're just not a good out loud talker, use talking points, right? Don't actually go word for word scripted because it just doesn't sound real. Good job. Cool. Yeah, I would just, Carmela, I would just talk to Panther and ask them what it looks like to move across from those, like the steps that would need to take place if you want to go onto Panther. Just tell them, I'm currently hosted with this, I'm moving over to this, and this is what I built my websites on at the moment, Cratejoy, Wix, and Shopify. Laura, I definitely have time. Important speaking with as I too, the 2 of us in our business, so it is, yeah, totally. She's just wondering, there's two of them in the business. It's kind of a team, a partnership. Wondering if she still has to talk as I and choose one of them to stand out. No, we talk as we. You're still not talking we 50 people and you never get to know our names or see our faces because there's like a gazillion of us. It's still just the 2 of you in that pair. So yeah, you can still use the word we, but you'll have your faces. They'll get to know your names. You'll sign off as blah and blah. You know, they'll get to know you as, oh, have you heard about Jane and Jill, right? That's not your names, but that would be funny if it was. Heard about Jane and Jill? Oh, they're so cool. They're this duo from blah, right? So playing around with we's is fine as long as that's just how you're talking in the email, not like when you're never going to see a human in this brand. It's just going to be like completely schmick and clean and impersonal. You can still be personal with a we. Next question is from, what have I done? Okay. I'm doing a so this question is from Lyndall. I'm doing a self-liquidating funnel and I'm just trying to figure out what goes in the Facebook ad. Like, how does it work? Which offer goes in the Facebook ad? So you go from a Facebook ad to a landing page. And the landing page is for your lead magnet. So the Facebook ad is all about your lead magnet. And when they click on the Facebook ad, it's because they want the lead magnet. On the next page, guess what you give them? The lead magnet. And that's the whole principle of they come for pancakes, just give them pancakes. Stop trying to, get all super complicated with it. So Facebook ads about the lead magnet. The next page they see will be the lead magnet. Then after that, instead of just saying, see ya, there's your lead magnet, bye, we say, hey, would you like to take another step? Here's the next offer. And that will be your kind of entry point offer. And then you go into your high value offer, more core offer. Keep in mind, self-liquidating funnels are only for people who are experienced in funnel building and business. Or people, don't expect it to be the thing that generates bucket loads of profit. It can be a really good way to build a list of people that are interested in you and that could be your ideal client, but it's not like you're dealing with numbers that are big enough to be making huge profit if that's all you had. So it's a good way to kind of dip your toes in the water and start to get your name out there. or it's good to embrace when you've already got quite an established business. But don't think that from selling a $37 and a $97 product, you're going to make like hundreds of thousands of dollars, because that's not what the self-liquidating funnel is for. Self-liquidating funnel is for building a community as cheaply as possible, not necessarily for converting customers, like high-value customers that will really make a difference to the bottom line. Cool. Next question is from Hannon. So Hannon's question is, your materials are super actionable and helpful. Good, that's the point. I'm glad. Have you seen video marketing used successfully without the video showing the person? Totally. Yep. So you're wanting to go under more of an alias at the moment because you are working full time. And I'm also quite young, 24 years old, so I feel my age could distract my product, sorry. Are you kidding me? You got an emails for 27 cents? Are you kidding me? Like, that's flipping awesome. That's flipping awesome. So long story short is yes, I want you to go back and look at the question in this office hours when I was asked, what was I asked? How do I do a screen share video? Go back and look at that. I want you to do a PowerPoint that's using text and images, not like a boring old school PowerPoint that's like got clip art stuff spinning across the screen. Like, do a cool, good looking PowerPoint, right? But don't go too crazy with what's going on. The simpler, the better. When you're doing a PowerPoint and you're recording it, and it's a sales kind of presentation, like it's not a training for a current member, it's like something on the front end of the funnel. If it's at the front end, you need the slides to be moving really quickly. So you need to be changing slides probably every 30 seconds, sometimes less. So I will have like, I'll have a couple, like 3 slides per minute that I'll be moving through. So you can't just have 4 slides and talk about one for 5 minutes and then go next. Like, no one sticks around for that because they can't see your face. There needs to be movement happening on the screen. So yeah, a good example of something you could send Facebook traffic to is, I'm just going to find it for you. I should know this off by heart, but I don't. Evolution. Yeah. Have a look at this one. I'm just going to get the preview of it. I hate how my voice always plays when you open a ClickFunnels page with a video on it. You know how it always plays itself at you. Have a look at this. This one's cool. So, Hannon, go to register.thedoingacademy.com. Register. No, I got the hiccups again. Register.thedoingacademy.com /7-figure-coach-consultant. Got that? Register.thedoingacademy.com. Write that down. Register.thedoingacademy.com /7-figure-coach-consultant. This is an example of something that I've sent cold Facebook traffic to after an email address was captured. They went through to this page next, giving some great training, and then on to the next step. So this was my lead magnet, I guess. So the first page captured the email address so they can watch this training. And you'll see how I transitioned from training into next step. It worked incredibly well. But it could be shorter. It could be like 10 minutes. I made mine longer, but it worked. But maybe if I was completely unknown, people wouldn't care enough. No, I think it was the content. From the feedback that we got, it was the value of the content that caused that one to be so successful. So have a look at that one as an example of a slide pack video. So if you go back, I show you in this office hours, a few questions ago, I showed you how to do the step-by-step. Okay, of recording a screen share video. Yep, all good. So Tanya, go into, just email us and ask us for the ClickFunnels links, okay? And you'll be good. So emailers say, hey, can I please have the ClickFunnels landing pages? Share links. Robin, are you in Russell Brunson's Inner Circle? No, I'm not. Are you reading Expert Secrets? Yes, I've read that. Yes. That came in a box, which was hilarious. It came in a box and there were like 30 pamphlets on top of it of different courses or products I could buy. I was like, I had to go through all this stuff. I was like, just give me the book. I found that a really interesting concept. It must work, otherwise he wouldn't do it. But I was like, sales much? How do you feel these teachings mesh with the things you are teaching us? Completely. I haven't found anything in there that's opposite to what I'm teaching or that goes against what we're teaching. So yes, completely. I've like learned a lot from Russell Brunson in my journey. I found him 4 years ago. I've learned a lot from him. I've learned a lot from heaps of different people out there that are specialists in certain things. He's a specialist, obviously, at landing pages. So I've learned a lot from that. I've learned specialist stuff on Facebook. I've learned, he's a great, clever business guy. And yeah, I recommend reading his book wholeheartedly because it all aligns with what I teach. There's nothing that he does where I'm like, that's lame or that wouldn't work for us. He's a bit of a genius. So short answer, carry on reading. Okay. Next question is from Melinda. I recently tried to reactivate my Google AdWords account and keep getting this error message. Hold on. Oh, this silly thing. I don't know. I can't get my thing to show. Hold on. Keep getting this email from them. Not sure if you can advise. It's crucial to my business to have an active AdWords account. Good. And I'm also completely unaware of why my account is in violation. They don't seem to respond to me with an answer. So AdWords has said to her, thanks for your continued patience in this process. We've confirmed that your account is in violation of our AdWords policies. Since this decision is final, your account will not be reinstated. Please avoid creating additional AdWords accounts as they will be subject to the same suspension. What are you doing? So if you've actually replied to that and said, could you specifically tell me why we are in violation so that we can fix this? And they're still responding with this vague answer, and which is not an answer at all, I would talk to an AdWords expert. I've never heard of this before. Like the only reason is if you are, selling escort agencies or some sort of prohibited AdWords product or service. I don't get why you would be getting this error message. How awkward would it be if you were selling escort services? If you were, that's a prohibited market and that is why you're getting it. Pretty sure you're not. I would talk to Niall at I Am Expert. So just go to Doers Book, DOERS book.thedoingacademy.com. doersbook.thedoingacademy.com. And if you go into the listings in the top hand corner, you'll see Niall is in there. Niall's a Google AdWords specialist who runs like pretty solid campaigns for a lot of my girls. He'll at least be able to give you a free consult and just be like, hey, this is what I think is happening or this is why. He should be able to pick it out pretty early and point you in the right direction. And then you can choose to go and pursue it yourself, or if you're just sick of it, you can get him to look into it for you and figure out what's going on. And kind of manage that for you. He can like take your logins and just go and sort it out. He's got direct contacts at Google, so he's got a quicker response than actual humans that talk to him. What are your thoughts on two different pricing models? Sorry, whose question is it? Jackie. What are your thoughts on two different pricing models for the same product and taking them both to market? So we have a 6-week pain management course. I'm thinking of using two funnels, offering the product at different price points to test the market. 14-day free trial funnel to a weekly offer. And then, sorry, a weekly pricing. Oh, hold on. It's just gone off the page. 14-day free trial to a weekly pricing offer. And a webinar funnel to a flat $47 offer. You can't go a webinar to a flat $47. If you're going webinar, you have to be like way more expensive. Like you have to be at least $500, if not closer to $1,000. So you won't be able to do that webinar funnel with that. What do you want to make with this business financially? Because right now the price points are obviously $17 is really not enough money to pay for your traffic and give yourself any sort of proper lifestyle. I know you want to do that on scale, but I wouldn't approach this if you didn't have heaps of cash in the bank and a really strong presence and something else currently generating you your income. So this is definitely a model that's that's online one-to-many. And if you're not quite there yet with online one-to-many, if you haven't already been successfully providing face-to-face or online services one-to-one, like coaching or consulting in this in more of a one-to-one environment, you'll find it really hard to make money out of this. You're just not making enough money to be able to cover it, the costs and your time up front. So make sure that you've got something else humming. If you've got another arm of the business and you're currently doing coaching programs or consulting services where you're getting, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month or something like that, and that's giving you the breathing space to go and create something that's a little bit more online, cool. But if you haven't got that happening, you will not make good money from this. Like, it's just too hard. Too hard to actually make money that counts for the cost that it will take to get your name out there and start you being found by people. So if you've already got a list, you've already got that part of the business, and you can sell this and get your first 100 members with stuff that you've already got existing, then awesome, you'd invest in this kind of stuff. But if you're starting from scratch, just my warning, if you're starting from scratch, don't start there. If you have got it all running, then I would go the weekly price offer personally, because the webinar funnel to $47 won't work. It'll cost you way too much money. You'll lose like $10 for every dollar you spend. You need to be pricing it closer to $500 minimum for a webinar. And you'll see all of that if you go into, what are you in? Yeah, if you go into the Doing Academy, you'll see all of those details when I go through the funnel, the kind of different types of, I used to call them huddles, but what do I call them now? Doing roadmaps. Go to the Doing Roadmaps. You'll see I tell you don't do it. If you've gone into module 2, you shouldn't do a webinar funnel. I say explicitly, don't do a webinar funnel if your product's under $500. So just make sure that you've watched the training there and the way that I position that as well. Okay, next question is from Leah. You're from Solo Art Gallery as well. So is my retargeting script too long? Let me have a look, Leah. Sorry, I think this is Leela. Sorry, I think I might have said your name wrong. Sorry, Leela. For Vixie, if you're transcribing this, it's L-E-E-L-A. L-E-E-L-A. Let me have a quick look. I'm just opening up your script now. It's downloaded. Open. It's cool. Yep, it's cool. You only talk about the 25% off right down the bottom. Pull it up. And I wouldn't put a physical date on, like an actual, when you've got August 20th, just means you have to keep refilming this video. So say for a super limited time or something like that. Rather than specifically saying a date, just means you can never use that video again. You've got to refilm it every time you want to use it again. So you only say the 25% off section at the very end. I would in the first sentence. I'd love to when you say, and I would love to paint for you or a special loved one, and gift you 25% off, or something along those lines, and gift you a super special discount or something like that. just as my way of welcoming you into our family or into our community, whatever that looks like, and then off you go. So bring the 25% off into the second sentence up the top there. Otherwise, looking good. Well done. Sorry, I'm getting off the screen. I'm going to have a really sore back at the end of this. I should have fixed this at the beginning. Dumb, right? Okay, next question, and then I think I'm done. Awesome. Awesomely tubular. Next question is from Dominique. Okay, how do I manage the payment side of your $1? How do I manage the payment side of my $1 trials in ClickFunnels? Yes, so you use Stripe. I've answered this. No, so it's really easy. So go into ClickFunnels, go into Stripe, set up a product with a trial. Oh, you want a $1 trial. I'm pretty sure Stripe only lets you do a free trial from memory. I'm pretty sure, yeah, pretty sure Stripe only lets you do a free trial. Okay, so if you want to know the way that I do it, I set up the product in Infusionsoft, and so then I go into ClickFunnels and I can pick up that product inside ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels then charges Infusionsoft, but that's because I've got Stripe and PayPal. I've got Stripe and PayPal set up inside Infusionsoft. If you don't have that set up inside so if you've got that set up inside Ontraport and things like that, right? I don't think ClickFunnels integrate. You're using Ontraport. ClickFunnels doesn't integrate with Ontraport. ClickFunnels only integrates with Stripe for payment processes. Like it's got Stripe and PayPal and a few others. So in your case, if you're using Ontraport, not Infusionsoft, don't go straight from ClickFunnels to Ontraport. You're going to want to go ClickFunnels and just go straight into Stripe, right? So you set up a subscription. It's called like a plan in Stripe. Set up a plan in Stripe. Choose that in ClickFunnels as the chosen product that you want to connect it with, and that'll then charge people that product. So now you've got people successfully paying on the landing pages, and that's the most important thing right now. So their payments are going into Stripe. Now we need to get Stripe to tell Ontraport, hey, Ontraport, they just paid me money. At the beginning, I would just personally jump in there twice a day and check Stripe and go, oh, cool, that person just paid. I'll move Jane on, right? I would just personally do that manually because it's a 20-second job. And then you just need to have a look down the track. Once you start getting volume and you're like, you know what, this is something that's worth automating. You don't automate everything up front just for the sake of automating. You automate stuff because it's costing you manual time and you want to streamline it. So in time, once you've proven that this funnel is humming and you're like, great, I'm doing like 20 of these a day because the funnel's humming, it's now worth me getting this integrated. You can then look at passing people through, like you can pass them through with Zapier, and you'll be able to talk to an Ontraport specialist. I don't have experience in Ontraport specifically, so personally, so I wouldn't know whether they use Stripe, how you integrate Stripe with that, but it would just be that Stripe has a trigger that every time a plan is purchased, it tells Ontraport. That's kind of what you would want to set up. It might be a little API build, or there might be something that already exists out there that lets you do that automatically. I'm pretty sure Zapier would let you do that. Zapier is like an in-between tool that gets systems to talk to each other. So that might be a workaround. But right now, I would focus on making money rather than death by automation, because that can cause problems when you just try and automate everything. And you're like, right now, how much time is this costing me manually to do this process? Well, right now it's nothing because no one's bought anything from me. And even if I'm selling 10 a day, it's going to be like 3 minutes of my day where I'm having to deal with my payments because I'm making money. Awesome, right? And then when it gets really manual and you do get the volume that can justify it, then I would investigate the other options. But right now, I just go straight from ClickFunnels to Stripe, and just once or twice a day, either you or a VA that costs you like $20 a week to jump in and do a 5-minute task twice a day. You know, it can be totally outsourced. It doesn't need to be death by automation. I promise you. If you're running into roadblocks, just like figure out a temporary workaround while we start making some money first. I hope that helps. And then finally, When you talk about conversions from Facebook ads, does that mean a person ends up making a purchase or an email address? You'll see in my Facebook training, don't build a Facebook ad until you've watched the training, and that explains all of it. But we're always based on the first conversion point is always the email conversion, and then the landing pages do the rest of the work. But in Facebook, a lead is what we're trying to capture, and a lead is another word for an email. Just the first step, a lead, not necessarily a customer, in almost every case. Sweet. Okay. I hope that's helped, guys. I'm glad I've been able to answer all of the questions just on time. I'm 3 minutes over, so I'm going to roll. I'm going to go and practice for tomorrow and jump on a plane. Wish me luck. I hope I don't stuff it up and forget halfway through. I'm sure I'll be fine. I hope that's been helpful, guys. Have a productive week. Get back to doing. Remember, focusing on activities that will actually make you money first. That's your first priority. We can pretty it up later. Keep working through the programs. And, yeah, I hope to see you here another day soon if I can help with any questions at all. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the support and the love. See you guys. Talk soon. Bye.